Neon Chrome is a fun twin-stick shooter that has a lot going for it. The premise is that you start at the bottom of a tower and must fight your way up, defeating enemies and getting to the main big bad. Along the way, you'll fight a variety of enemies, avoid traps, and fight bosses as you work your way to the top. The controls feel good. Using your guns and abilities feels right, and I never found myself having trouble with the aiming. When you start a run, you select one of 3 predetermined classes that have a random array of weapons and special moves. The variety increases as you continue throughout the stages as well. Shooting the guns is satisfying, as many of the kills can be rather messy, with people just exploding everywhere, especially with the rockets and any of the explosives that you use. The explosions and kills are satisfying that even for a twin-stick shooter you can feel that weapon impact. You earn and find different weapons along the way. You will get an SMG, which is great for close range fighting and when you have a lot of enemies running at you. The assault rifles are good at any distance, and the shotguns are just great if you want to get up close and personal. The guns come in different varieties as well, like ones that use normal bullets, lasers, and plasma versions. As you fight throughout the levels, you find weapon crates that improve your weapons or provide you with even new weapons. The weapons won't be the only things that you can use, as you'll have your special moves. Special moves can be fun to pull off and very useful. You get access to rocket launchers, grenades, cluster bombs, laser blasts, and more. The laser blasts shoot out a shotgun-like blast all around you, and this is really useful if you're surrounded. Rocket launchers give you a powerful weapon that you can use at long range, but if fired up close, you could cause damage to yourself. The same goes for the grenades. The grenades can be fun to use if you open a door and quickly throw in a grenade before any of the enemies are aware and blow them up. The trade-off with the special abilities is that they require energy, and energy is earned through finding it in crates and through defeating enemies. Normal combat will give you some variety and choice in how you tackle situations. In many cases, enemies are sectioned off into different rooms, so you can try to get the jump on them by ambushing them, but sometimes this might cause other enemies to come to their aid. You can use many of the walls as cover, but many of the walls can also be destroyed. This is particularly seen during the first boss fight. The first boss fight really showed off the use of cover and destruction that can occur in an area. You have this mech that will hunt you down until you're dead, but there's a good amount of rooms that you can use to dodge his fire. The trick with this fight is that you need to find the best moment to strike, which is exactly when he's reloading. The attacks the bosses will use will change throughout the fight as well, giving some nice variety to the encounters. The second boss is also a good example of this. You'll fight this large centipede that must be destroyed from its different parts, but each part is shielded. As you start the fight, you think that it's going to be an easy encounter, but after taking some damage, the boss changes up its routine and runs throughout the map, farting out all these mines everywhere. Now you need to fight the boss, but also watch out where you step. Now if you die at any point, you'll go back to the hub area. While fighting enemies, you earn gold. Gold is retained upon death and can be used for upgrades. You can upgrade your stats like health, damage, luck, and energy. Gold can be used to start out with a weapon you have found, and now you can just start out with that weapon, and you can also go about getting these different passive buffs. As you fight throughout the levels, you'll earn different buffs that can be slotted for upgrades, and they're very useful. One allows you to earn health every time you pick up energy. There isn't a lot of health throughout the stages, so when you get into a situation where you have very little health and you're trying to make it through to the next area, it creates this raw tension of carefully calculating each of your moves. And there's a sense of accomplishment when you find more health after just barely surviving. To make the action that much better is the game's soundtrack. There's memorable tunes that provide engaging background music to the action. Here are a few of those tunes. Now, if you're not sold on the game yet, it does get a little bit better. It can be played up to 4 players with local co-op, which adds considerable replay value. I wish there was online access as well, but I love when anything has that old school local play. A small detail I noticed are the shell casings from your bullets that stay on the ground and then pile up. This is a great detail to have, especially for the boss rooms, as you're in one location and you can really see the before and after of that location. Plus, this detail only adds to the game, and it can be pretty awesome to walk away alive from an encounter with so many bullets left on the floor. I do not have anything really bad to say about this game. Now sure, the AI soldiers can be a bit dumb at times, not noticing bullets coming right at them, but there's a wide variety of enemies that you encounter, and there's a lot of them. So they don't really have the smarts, but they make up for it in numbers. Neon Chrome is one of those quality indie titles that manages to deliver a good presentation with gameplay that doesn't grow stale. The combat is engaging that is furthered through all the upgrades you acquire. The bosses are different and fun, the weapons have a nice punch to them, and you can play with your friends. I highly recommend you get this game.